Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about the article Spiritual Leadership as a Paradigm for Organizational Transformation and Recovery from Extended Work Hours Culture by Louis Fry and Melanie Cohen. Introduction. So 50 years ago, scientists assumed technology would be so advanced it would allow employees to only work a 15-hour work week at full pay by 2030. Instead, we saw an increase in demand for extended work hours and work overload. This increased workload trend is common in Asian countries such as Japan, Korea, and China. Our explanation is the advances of technology have caused globalized businesses to never truly close. Another explanation is people's drive for consumerism. So people are wanting more things, in turning requiring more income and ultimately more time at work. A third explanation is people who work beyond the normal work week earn a sense of pride or badge of honor. Fry, the author, believes that the culture of extended work hours is slowly creating work addicts. Extended work hours culture is slowly becoming detrimental to employees, organizations, and stakeholders as it fuels addictive behaviors towards workaholism. And the article draws on how spiritual leadership theory and its paradigm can be a source of recovery from negative consequences of workaholism. Number 2, extended work hours culture. So, corporate culture is defined as a pattern of shared basic assumptions that was learned by a group as it solved its problems of external adaptation and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore be taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to those problems. Culture influences members' ranges of behavior and provides a framework for their thinking behavior. These can include external things such as dress, office layout, rituals, and ceremonies. As well as internal things, including beliefs and values, and these can be used by people to justify their actions and more. When cultures are based on negative values, choices can be made that are detrimental to employees and stakeholders. And when cultures are based on positive values, an environment of positivity and trust emerges. So, leadership culture. Leaders obviously play a large role in creating their organization's culture. Their basic assumptions often become shared assumptions, providing stability and meaning. Though sometimes assumptions can be used as defense mechanisms, it's important that leaders make it clear that the organization's cultures and ethics are strongly linked. And then a few pillars that ethical leadership stand on are the moral character, the ethical legitimacy of the visions and values, and morality of choices and actions. Number 4, ethics of extended work hours culture. So excessive work overload can be viewed as an addictive behavior. It can have a negative impact on the setting of the organization as well as the employees. Some organizations do thrive on extended work hours culture where employees do not suffer negative consequences, but it is believed most EWHCs have many attributes of workaholics. This can include identity issues, rigid thinking, denial, confusion, and perfectionism. Long hours and sacrifice have become the keys to success and serve as support for workaholic behavior. And for example, the IT company Tapia created an extreme extended work hours culture environment, ultimately resulting in their decline and closure. Number 5, spiritual leadership theory and extended work hours culture. Spiritual leadership and extended work hours culture. The article offers that spiritual leadership is a paradigm for organizational transformation and recovery from the negative aspects of extended work hours culture. Number 7, overview of the spiritual leadership paradigm. Spiritual leadership was designed to help create a motivated organization that wanted to learn. It incorporates visions, hope/faith, and altruistic love, which are theories of workplace spirituality and spiritual well-being. Its purpose is to tap into the needs of the leader and followers in hopes of fostering high levels of organizational commitment and productivity. Number 8, spiritual leadership as a paradigm for transformation and recovery from extended work hours culture. The author states that 1, workaholism can result in different degrees of positive human health and psychological and spiritual well-being. And 2, a 12-step program can support non-enthusiastic workaholics and their organizations. Number 9, enthusiastic workaholics. They experience joy and fulfillment. Their need to work can lead to a sense of self-worth and produce positive personal and organizational outcomes. They seek passionate involvement and gratification. They strive for achievement and success, and they can delay their gratification to focus on current and distant goals. Workaholics spend a great deal of time thinking about work beyond requirements, and see it as fun and stimulating. And no matter how motivated, enthusiastic workaholics can be, they can still fall victim to the dangers of extended work hours culture. And extended work hours culture can be dysfunctional for enthusiastic and non-enthusiastic workaholics. Number 10, non-enthusiastic workaholics. Their need to work is based on extrinsic motivation, resulting in negative self-worth and organizational outcomes. They have obsessive compulsive personalities, and look for that emotional rush. They are both negative and complex, and this can cause a person ultimately to be unable to perform functions effectively. They experience high levels of pessimism, impaired judgment, stress, and burnout. And these characteristics can cause a reduction in flexibility and efficiency, ultimately creating problems for themselves and the organization. Number 11, spiritual leadership and workaholism recovery. The spiritual leadership theory was used to show that one can be obsessed with work but have psychological well-being, positive human health, and organizational commitment and productivity. So, for example, you're enthusiastic workaholics. The spiritual leadership theory can also be used to explain non-enthusiastic workaholics. These non-enthusiastic workaholics can have low levels of psychological well-being but positive human health, but then again, dysfunctional organizational behavior. This is often, again, derived from the need for extrinsic reward, and giving these rewards undermines the genuine interest in the job and the work itself, oftentimes leading to barely inadequate work just to reach the reward at all. Number 12, hitting bottom, recognizing decline in extended work hours culture. So hitting bottom is a term often used in recovery. This means a person struggling with addiction realizes that the pain endured to change is less than the pain endured from the continuation of their addiction. The author proposes that organizations need to get to this point of hitting bottom so that leaders can realize their organization are hitting a point of failure/decline. Wheaton described decline as two things, possibly stagnation or cutback. Levy stated that decline is when external and internal needs are not being met and that changes are necessary but are being ignored. Fry also proposes that extended work hours culture precipitated the decline and must undergo a crisis of leadership autonomy, control, and bureaucratic red tape due to a lack of attention to efficient management of basic operations and a lack of regard for stakeholder satisfaction. Number 13, spiritual leadership and practice. It is believed that the spiritual leadership theory paradigm is needed for extended work hours culture organizations. Two key practices that are vital for the implementation of spiritual leadership. One, they need to conduct a periodic assessment of the spiritual leadership model to establish a baseline and identify issues for organizational transformation and development interventions. Two, then they use the results to conduct a vision stakeholder analysis to help establish/reinforce values, hope/faith, and altruistic love that compose spiritual leadership. They identify key stakeholder issues and provide the basis for an organization-wide dialogue concerning the appropriate goals and strategies. And through this analysis, employees can gain a sense of calling and feel like they are making a difference and therefore finding meaning and purpose. Number 14, conclusion. Obviously, work inflation is growing in the US and globally. 45 to 55-hour work weeks have become the new normal. Fry and others present a process of maximizing the triple bottom line through developmental leadership. This also includes spiritual leadership paradigm, and they believe that these things can be used to transform organizations and help with the recovery of extended work hour cultures. Thank you.